Hello students. Today we are going to study AI project cycle of class 10 AI syllabus. Now, what do we mean by the project cycle? So, what is AI project cycle? And basically, AI project cycle is a structured process used to develop artificial intelligence projects effectively. So, if you need to develop a project, you need to go through some steps. Okay, so here cycle means maybe you need to repeat those steps uh, to come to the final product. So this is so. What are the main steps which are there? So basically, there are five key steps are there. The first one is problem scoping. Second one is data acquisition. Third one is data exploration. Fourth one is modeling, and fifth one is evaluation and deployment. So these are the five steps. So one by one, if these steps are followed, you will able to develop a project which you can use it for real life application. All right. So first stage is problem scoping. So what is there in the problem scoping? So problem scoping is the first stage of AI project cycle where problem is clearly defined before developing an AI solution. So whenever we solve any problem, we need to know what is the problem exactly, because if we are not clear about the problem, we will not able to solve it properly. So here problem scoping is the step where we are clearly defining what is the problem which we need to solve. Now it involves the understanding the issue, identifying key factor and setting objectives. So what are the issues are there, and what are the factors are there, and what is the objective of after solving. So though this it looks like we are doing some understanding the problem, but in this understanding we are also thinking what will be the solution of that problem. Now what are the key steps in of problem scoping? We need to identify the problem. We need to identify the stakeholders. Okay, now stakeholders are those people who are involved in the solution of the problem, who are interested in the solution of the problem. So you are not going to make any AI application which will not be used by anyone. You need to create a AI application which is used by the people. So the people, those who are interested, those who are developing it, those who want this thing, and for those this AI solution is beneficial. So those are the stakeholders. Now, next, after this, we need to define a problem statement. See, we cannot have a like a just we know the problem is good, not good enough. When we are solving a problem, so many people are there, so we need to. So in the developers or in the development team, we need a clear define the problem statement. So this problem statement will like the very specific goals are there which tell us what to do to solve the problem. So obviously in this problem solving, we are also looking for the solution. What are our objective and goals while solving this problem? And again, we need to see the scope and constraint. Means everything is not possible. And one, if try to do everything, maybe we will not able to get the final product. So we need to limit it. Okay, it's always like in anything, if you try to do everything in one thing, in one particular application, which is not possible. So you need to see what is the scope and constraint is there. And finally, we need to evaluate the feasibility. Feasibility is basically you need to know that whether this solution is possible or not. So you are going for making a solution, but if it is not possible, so obviously it's not a good idea for going ahead. Maybe the technology is not there. Okay, Charles Babbage tries to make some computer, but the technology at that time was not was not good enough to develop a system like that. Now, the next very important thing is 4 Ws of problem canvas. Now, what are 4 Ws of problem canvas? So, 4 Ws are basically a method of clearly defining the problem solution. So, this problem statement, which we have discussed, we are saying in the previous slide that there is a problem statement. So, we need to be specify what are the 4 Ws, so which will make a problem statement. Now, why? Because it helps to divide this problem into four key aspects. Okay, now let's see. Okay, before we move any further, I would like to tell you This is CBSE not C- Class 10 AI board exam full revision. So here basically all the chapters there, MCQs, concept based questions, board specimen papers, everything is available. So I have seen this thing. I have gone through this course material, so it's a very good one. So I suggest you while doing all this, while following all the videos which I have given for the AI, if you go through this thing, so it will really very helpful for you to understand the things, right? So let's move to the four W's of the problem canvas, and I have also provided the link for this course in the description. The very first is who. Now, who is facing the problem? Okay, now it depends on what is the uh, like domain where this problem is there. Is it on which like who are the people who are there? It may be the in case of like school, it may be the students, teacher. In a business, it may be the customers. Okay, it differs, but it basically who are the people who are affected by the problem. So you need to find out who are the people who need the solution and involved in the problem. Now, what is the problem? Now, what exactly is the problem we need to see? Okay, like in your CBSE book, it's there is given there is a problem is there is a food wastage. Okay, so in any issues there are when we have a problem, we need to know what exactly and we to describe what is the exact problem they are facing. Okay, so we have to come though it's a bit there may be many problems, but in while solving the problem for an AI model, we need to know what exactly is the problem. Now, where? Now, where basically means what is the context where we need to solve this problem? It may be in an office we need to know what kind of a solution where we need to implement. Maybe the solution is to be applied through online platform, right? So, or maybe it is something which we need to do in a particular particular area. Okay, like in a school we need some kind of a system, or in an office we need some kind of AI solution for attendance or anything. All right, so this kind of location we need to know and where we need to apply this solution. And finally, now again, why we need to solve the problem? Is it are there any benefits of solving this problem, or we need to be very clear what is the importance of solving the problem and what are the benefits? Because once we know what are the benefits of solving these problems, then obviously there will be a very clear idea and motivation for doing this thing. So four W's of the problem canvas will be who are the people who are affected by this particular, who require this solution, what is exactly the problem, where in which context we need to, or which environment we need to, this problem is occurring and we need to provide solution, and why, what is the importance. An example is like student face difficulty in managing their study. Okay, so there's a studies there. So nowadays there's a huge amount of studies there. So there is a issue of managing those things. Now, who are the people who are interested in this? Obviously, students are there, but their parents and teachers are also involved. Now, what is the problem basically? Now, their difficulty in managing, it's basically a vague statement. You need to be very specific. What is the problem? Like the problem is that they may be getting low grades, they are facing some stress, or maybe there are time management issues. They are not able to complete their syllabus or they complete their studies within a certain time frame. So we need to know where this solution is to be provided. So this problem or where it is happening, maybe it is in school is happening, maybe in the online environment is happening, okay, online learning, or in some home. And why we need to solve these things? Because see, by solving this problem, there are benefits. By this, students' performance can be, they can improve their performance, and basically, this poor time management affects learning. So we need to see this thing. There, this thing issue of poor time management can be also managed. Now, there's one more problem is there, which is there is in the restaurants generate a large amount of food wastage. So, they in a normal restaurant now they are leading to very like they prepare a lot of foods, but maybe the food is not totally consumed. So this might cause a lot of financial losses and environmental harm. So who are the people? Obviously, restaurant owners are there, those who are preparing the food, staff, and even the this food which is obviously creating a lot of this extra food which is there. So this may cause the environmental problems also. Now, what is the problem? Excess food. Yes, this is the excess food which is not consumed, leading to wastage and increased cost. Now, where is the problem? Obviously, the problem is in the restaurant, hotels, or maybe in the food delivery system where we need to solve this thing. And why we need to solve this problem? Because the reason is because it is obviously this is expenses. It's causing the increasing the expenses, and at the same time, it harms the environment and affect the sustainability efforts. Right now, we come to a problem statement template. Now, problem statement template is a structured format used to define a problem clearly and concisely. So we need to define all this aspect which we have just now discussed. Four W's. Okay. So who are involved in this problem? What is the problem? Right. And where is the problem? And why this can be considered as a problem, and why solving it is a solution. Now, problem identification is very important, which is one of the what is the problem. So this is there. Secondly, we need to know the background where and which context this problem is happening. Okay, so this is the where location, and impact is basically is the why it is important and why we need to solve and what are the consequences of this problem. Okay, so problem identification is basically a area we need to. Here we have what and who, and in background and context where, and obviously this is the four why. So basically, if we make a 4W canvas. So this will give a this entire thing we can consider as a problem template statement. All right, and obviously we need to know a vision, expected outcome of ideal solution is template. Let's an example. See, there's a food wastage in restaurants. Okay, now this is one of the problem. Now, what is the problem identification? Restaurant face excessive food wastage leading to financial losses and environmental harm. So it's very like there lots of food is wasted. Okay, so this is causing obviously financial losses. Now, what is the background? Okay, where because the food is over prepared and left unsold, especially in buffet style restaurant and large kitchens. Recently, even there are news like people like big restaurants which are giving this buffet style this thing. They are running in losses, and now their prices which were very high are now coming down because preparing a lot of food, but that many time that many people are not coming and eating those food. So obviously there's a lot of unsold food is there. uh, okay, now what is the impact of the problem? Impact of the problem is that obviously wastage increases the cost, and obviously uh, wasting of food is not a very good thing because uh, many people are not getting good food and all this. So obviously this is a not a very good thing. Next is what is the expected outcome? What do we want from this system? Now we want an AI based inventory system which can see and demand and reduce waste and improve efficiency. Okay, so in not you have noted now a lot of companies are there now, restaurants are there, then they know that on certain days there are more people are there. Okay, like Saturdays and Sundays. So those days their rates are high. So people are coming and they don't mind on coming and paying for the food. But some days which are like a normal working days, so people are not coming. Okay, so they those days they have to see that what should be the quantity of food they prepare and what should be the price so that they can attract customers. So this is the we need to. So they need a system of AI system which can predict this kind of demand and reduce the waste and improve the efficiency. Now, the second step is data acquisition. Now, data acquisition is the process of collecting relevant data from various sources to use in an AI project. Okay. So, See, AI projects are basically data driven. So we need the relevant data from various sources so that we can work on this data. So basically, this data is need for two purposes for the training and testing of the AI model. Now, what are the different AI's data sources? See, databases are there. If there are pre-existing databases, those can be helpful. Like websites and API, if there are websites are there and APIs are there, so from there also you can get information. Sensors are there, IoT device. Now it depends on the context, like what kind of a AI solution you are developing and in what context the problem is there. Then social media platform, okay, a lot of information is there. So files are there. Mostly people still in some companies people do a lot of work in CSV and Excel and JSON files. Okay, and obviously images and videos are also can be like fed into the system so that they can be solved. And obviously there is some survey data, so different companies through they take a lot of inputs. Okay, so you have seen in Zomatos and all this food delivery app, they have an option from where mostly see everybody before purchasing or buying any food, they basically see what is the rating so of that restaurant and what is the rating of that particular food. So they go for it. So these are the data sources which can give you the idea. Now, what are the different data collection methods? Now, how you know the data sources, but we need to get the data from those sources. So one of the first method is the web scraping. Now, web scraping is getting the data from the websites. It can be done manually or it can be done programming using a program. So this is one way. Second is API calls. So API calls of different companies are there which are giving this API call through which they can. API is basically set of some functions are there which many of the companies they provide their data to the through this API calls. You can extract the data in which you can use it. Then database query, obviously, if the database is there of the existing data, from there you can get the this. Then sensor readings are there, you can read the sensor. Then surveys and questionnaires are there, you can even collect the data by creating some forms, okay, questionnaires, and you can get the data from there. And obviously, you can get the data download from the online sources, especially government websites are there from there or some other websites where you can get the information. Now, what are the two main types of data in AI system? See, we can divide the data in two broad categories. One is the structured data. So structured data is in an organized format. Mostly this is we are getting the data in a row and column format, like one of the most common type, okay, which you can see in Excel or in databases. And databases or spreadsheets are storing this thing. So customer records, and there are some other like customer records, sensor reading, financial transactions. So this comes under this. Now there is another one which is the unstructured data. Unstructured data is no fixed format. Is there. Okay, like the data which is telling in some rating, some comments are there. So though the comments are very important, but the data information is not there as in a form of a structured format. But it has no fixed format, so obviously it is not very easy for like a program to process. And it includes a text, now images and videos and audio files. So these are some areas where now computers can help to extract the information. Social media posts, emails, medical images. So these are some area, some kind of data which is not very structured. So through here, AI or like maybe with some kind of a AI help, we can extract the information. So this is the source. This might they can be also source of the AI project. Now, a very important thing is the data features in AI. So whenever we data features are what they basically are the individual attributes or characteristics of a data set that help AI model learn patterns and make predictions. Okay. So there are certain features and characteristics of a particular data set. Now let's see the examples. Numerical features. Okay. So age, salary, temperature. Then categorical features like gender, color, product type. Then we have a text feature, customer reviews, chatbot responses. Then we have a image feature, shapes, colors, edges in pictures. Okay. So these are the okay. Let me see. So, whenever we have a data set, from that data set or information, so we need to figure out what are the the data features which we need for that particular AI project. Okay, so depending on what is the type of the project, we need to extract those data features from that particular data sets, which can give us the which we are going to use for in further collecting the data for that particular information. Now, what are the characteristics of the data? Now, the data which we are going to use is the very first thing is obviously accuracy. Data should be correct, free from errors. Completeness. It is not we are getting a data which is incomplete. So we need to complete data. And consistency. Consistency means it is not like a data which are not same across. Okay, in one there are sometimes the data is not updated properly, so it might happen. So this is also we need to see that the data is consistent, means it is uniform across the different sources, and timeliness. Okay, so it is not a very old data we are using for the AI project. So obviously, the things have changed. Maybe the monetary values have changed. So that is not a very good data for the AI project. Now the validity, the data should follow predefined format and rules. So there should be some predefined format, because when we are writing a program, we cannot take any random type of data. We need to, maybe the data initially was unstructured, but we need to bring it in a structured format. Then reliability. Okay, now this data source or the data which we are using should be reliable. It is not that this data is taken from any random source and which we cannot or people cannot trust. Okay, and relevant is that the data should be useful. Okay, so there should be the data should be relevant. Next is what is data exploration. Now, data exploration is the process of analyzing and understanding a data set before using it for AI or machine learning. It helps in identifying patterns, errors, and useful insights. Now, your the data which we are going to use for the AI application. So we need to see, from once we have collected the data, then we need to see what is the relationship, how this data together is there any pattern in the data, and again at the same time we need to see are there any errors are there. So from this data which we have collected, now we have to see what is the information pattern which is present in this data. So this is the step where we need to study the data, and we have to see what is the relationship or patterns which are there present in the data. Now, in data exploration, what is the key step? Obviously, we need to upload the data, means we need to load the data. I means we need to get the data from the different files and all this. Then understanding the structure, we need to see what is the data, what is the missing values or any format that thing is there. Then statistical summary, we need to analyze the data to know the mean, median, and standard deviation, etc. So there are different ways by which we will come to know what is the basically what is the distribution of the data. Then data visualization. So sometimes numerical data does not give a very clear idea, but the once you put it in the form of a chart, it gives an a very clear idea how this thing is. Basically, this data is what is the pattern and what is the variations or relation in this data. Okay, so you see, in mostly if you are a science student, you know how graphs helpful in telling you the relationship between different quantities. And obviously, a very important thing is that here we need to also handle the missing data. Sometimes data is is not there, or we have to remove the data. Now we come to the next thing, which is a very important, is there is the data visualization. Now, data visualization is the process of representing data in graphical and visual formats, like charts, graphs, maps. So it helps in understanding the trend patterns and insight easily. So if you make a graph of this, okay, for example, if you have a graph of a pie chart, so you can easily understand the distribution. For example, if different states are there and the For example, anything. Okay, let's see, any crop is there, which is growth there, or maybe some product is there. So you will know that which state has the highest, which has the lowest, by easily looking at that particular pie graph. So data visualization is essentially in AI for analyzing data set, interpreting models, performance, and making data-driven decisions. Now, what are the common data visualization? Bar charts, compare categories of different data, line graph. Okay, it's a basically line graph you have seen between speed and time and distance graph and all this. So there's a very helpful pie chart which represent proportion of the whole. Scatter plot, which is basically telling relationship between two variables. Heat map, which also tells the data intensity using colors. Okay, now a bar chart is basically comparing the categories. Line graph, I think this is the same which is there. We have done just now. Okay, so I think this much is there in this particular chapter of project cycle. So if you have gone through this thing and if you want to study some questions based on it and want to do some MCQs and previous year questions which are helpful for your board exam, so I will recommend you to go to this particular course, which I find it very helpful. I hope this session must be helpful for you. So please go through this. If you need, is go through this particular session once again, so that all your doubts will be cleared. And I hope you will do your best in your exams. Okay, thank you, and see you in the next video lecture.